But what if you want a bigger butt? Hey, it's Josephine from the Pointe Shop. We're at Dance Medica in San Diego, and I'm with Julie, our physical therapist here. Julie, you have a background in dance, and then you went into physical therapy.
Years ago, I had a fracture in my sesamoid bones in my foot. I rehabbed it with people who didn't really understand what my goals were as a dancer. When I was in college for dance, seeing all of my friends get injuries, and they were not being rehabbed properly. Why weren't they finding the right people? Why didn't the right people know what was happening? Why didn't we all have an understanding of what was going on? So that kind of put me on that track, and here I am.
Yes, and I feel like that's a lot of the Dance Medica members' stories. We all just kind of grow up to become the people we needed through all of the injuries and the trauma that we went through. So Julie's gonna help us have better releves. And this was actually Julie's idea, but I'm so excited because my releve sucks.
First thing is actually massaging the foot. There is a muscle that is sitting underneath all of these calf muscles called the tibialis posterior. I find that dancers really have this like, oh my God, this is like much more fluid. I can really move through my point. Taking your thumb kind of to the underside of the toe. If you feel the bone on the bottom of your foot and the bottom of that big toe, you want to go right underneath that. That is where the muscle attaches. That is called the flexor hallucis longus. And that muscle helps point the toe, but you also need flexibility in that muscle in order to get onto releve. So I can feel yours is really tight as I push into that extension. Really taking the tip of your thumb and pushing in through here. And I feel lots of little crunchies, which is great. But getting under here is going to help loosen that up so that the flexibility is there for you to rise onto releve.
This is great.
I'll grab my cream so I can do a little bit for you. There's cream.
I wasn't expecting this, I'm gonna cry.
If you're thinking about your ankle, the bone that's on the inside of the ankle, coming underneath that bone, there's tendon there, so it's not gonna feel as squishy as muscle, but then following that up the inside. Following this behind the bone and then coming up this way. And the amount of pressure that you use is going to be based off of how tender it is. But if you're using your hands, that you would cross this here, and then you would take the hand yourself.
Why does it feel so much better when you do it?
The last spot is now if you're looking at your leg and you have the bone to the outside, you're gonna come a little bit in and you're gonna go up. And all of this tissue here, there's this, which, geez, you need this. You're really tight. But all of this soft tissue here, this muscle helps bring the foot this way. If she massages this, or if I massage this, she might get much more range in her plantar flexion if she's going up to releve, so there's something there. But yeah, so those are the 3 spots. Tip number 2, working on your hip strength. If you lose control at your hip, you're losing control of where the placement of your thigh bone is. That's going to cause this bone to either go one way or the other, which will then cause your arch to go one way or the other. It's a clamshell exercise, but I like to tweak it a little bit and make it more isolated. Feet are gonna be flexed to a comfortable position. Heels will stay together. And then thinking about how your spine is elongated and not twisted. So right now she's a little bit twisted back, so I'm gonna have her twist forward here. Get everything aligned so that you can isolate the exact muscle group that you want.
This would be really difficult for me to figure out
on your own.
Yeah, on my own.
Let's say that she's at home and she's alone, to go up against the wall, taking this hand, putting it here, and just giving a gentle press into the table or the floor. I want you to think about keeping the glute a little bit relaxed, then trying to lift that knee up and feeling the deep rotators of the hip, a little bit more internal, keeping that glute relaxed so you're not really firing the glute max, because the glute max isn't really gonna help you rotate.
Okay. Oh, I see. So I'm thinking about this guy out here. Okay.
So right there, and then it's just a little up and a little down. That's it.
Oh, wow, that's huge.
Very small. And just trying to keep the isolation right in the hip without really gripping through your glute muscles.
Okay.
Once you start to feel like you're gripping in those glute muscles, it's probably because the muscles that you want to work are fatiguing and you want to just rest. So it's less about like 3 sets of 10 and more just, can you do it to a point where you can feel the fatigue?
Yes.
And that's where you want to stop, give your muscles a break, and then go again. Because it's not like you're lifting heavy weights, you're really just using the resistance of your body, and you're trying to gain endurance of these muscles, because think about how many times you're on releve, how many times you're on your feet. Let's say that your calf strength is perfect, your mobility and your foot is perfect, you have a beautiful point. If you don't have the strength at the hip to maintain it, it means nothing. If your hip is not stable, your ankle's not gonna be stable.
Yes. So many things make sense now. I'm rethinking my entire ballet childhood.
The last thing is just balance overall. The first thing would be if you can stand on one leg with your eyes open without holding on to anything, and then how it feels. And so I'd say, wonderful, this looks great. The next thing is, can you do that with your eyes closed? Holding onto the table first, standing on one leg, and then close your eyes and let go.
Wow, that's way harder.
Yeah.
Ah! Where am I?
And then there's other fun things that you can do to challenge your balance, like using a Bosu. If you have like a squishy yoga mat, you can fold the yoga mat up a few times and stand on that.
Wait, I don't even know where I am right now. This is really hard.
There you go. But now come off of it, and I just want you to switch and do your left leg. Yeah.
Wow.
When I'm watching you, your arch collapses much more on the left. Like your ankle is not as stable, right? Which is fascinating because, I mean, we did the exercise for the left hip. So after doing an exercise like that, you should feel super stable.
Yes.
But then we don't have the ankle control.
Yes.
So that's why all of the pieces really matter.
I love that we talked about all of these different things because like I was literally thinking you were gonna give me like calf raises.
It's definitely part of the process because usually there is some weakness there, but it's not the whole thing. Soft tissue massage, the hip strength, and the balance are all very important for your releves and your dancing in general.
Oh my gosh, thank you. This was super helpful and so much fun. If you guys want to contact Julie, we're going to have all of her information on the description box. If you go onto the Dance Medica website, you can always find her information there as well.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.